Hey everybody, Jim here with another video for you. This is 50 Years in Film, my 10 favorite films from 2018 and 2019. But before we begin, at the end of this video, if you like what you see, please consider giving me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe, but most importantly, please leave comments below. Let me know how you feel about my picks, and definitely let me know what your favorite films are from these years. Well, we're coming to the end of the road. This is definitely the end of the decade, of course. And we're going to do what we always do. We're just going to count down the movies from 10 to 1. But before we do, we're going to start with the normal caveats. These are not the best films of the year. These are my favorite films of the year, and I base that criteria strictly on my own personal taste. It has absolutely nothing to do with quality of film. The second caveat is I am only doing the films that I currently own in my collection. So there are some films from these years that I probably enjoy more, but I don't happen to own them, so that's why they're not included. And without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and do what we always do. We're going to start off 10, work our way down to 1. We're not going to go into any kind of plots whatsoever. And we're going to start off with 2018. And the first title on our list, number 10, is Overlord. Starring Wyatt Russell, Jovan Odepo, and Bokeem Woodbine, directed by Julius Avery. As I said in the previous video, this movie starts off as one thing, and it does a 180 halfway through and turns into something totally different. Very entertaining, over-the-top, crazy movie. Number 9, Hereditary. Written and directed by Ari Aster, and starring in what I feel is an incredible performance. Toni Collette. And again, slow burn movie, but it's creepy as hell, and the ending is an all-timer. Number 8, Hotel Artemis. Starring Jodie Foster, Sterling K. Brown, Sophia Boutella, Charlie Day, Dave Bautista, and the wonderful Jeff Goldblum, among many others. This movie's got a killer cast. Directed by Drew Pearce. This movie was a flop originally. It definitely deserves more love than it got. Entertaining as hell. Number 7, Aquaman. Directed by James Wan, and starring Jason Momoa, Willem Dafoe, Nicole Kidman, and Dolph Lundgren. Let's give Dolph some love on this one. And Patrick Wilson, of course. Really, really fun movie. I was very surprised how much I really enjoyed this film. Okay, number 6, Upgrade. Written and directed by Lee Winnell, and starring, what is his name? Logan Marshall Green. And he's a very good actor. Again, this movie came out of nowhere. Extremely fun. It's pretty stupid, okay? There's a twist towards the end that doesn't make any kind of sense whatsoever, but it doesn't matter. Check your brain at the door. This movie's a lot of fun. Top 5. Number 5, Bad Times at the El Royale. Starring Jeff Bridges, Cynthia Erivo, Lewis Pullman, John Hamm, Dakota Johnson, and Chris Hemsworth. Written and directed by Drew Goddard. Another movie, flew under the radar that year. A lot of people avoided this because they thought it was a Tarantino ripoff. If you've never seen this movie, give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. Number 4, A Quiet Place. Starring Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. Directed by John Krasinski. Again, another movie came out of nowhere. Up until this point, I thought of John Krasinski as the guy from The Office. Didn't know he had this in him. Great film. Third installment is coming out this summer. Top 3. Number 3, Black Panther. Starring Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, and Angela Bassett. Directed by, and I should know this, of course, Ryan Coogler. Of course, I should know that. He also directed the Creed movies, as well as a great movie starring Michael B. Jordan called Fruitville Station. If you've never seen that movie, check it out. But this incredible movie, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Number 2, Deadpool 2. Starring Ryan Reynolds, Josh Brolin, Zazie Bates, and the beautiful Morena Baccarin. Directed by David Leitch. One of those few sequels that stands right up there with the first one. Kind of like how Lethal Weapon 2 and Lethal Weapon, the original one, I can't decide which one I like better. It's the way I feel about the 2 Deadpool movies, although I do think the first one is just a little bit better, but this movie's great. But number 1 has to go to Avengers: Infinity War. Starring everybody who's ever been in a Marvel movie. And directed by the Russo brothers. And I want to correct something. In the earlier videos, I said that they were written and directed by the Russo brothers. That is not true. These movies were written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely, and I wanted to correct that. But as it is, excellent movie. Great setup for what became Endgame. But yeah, Infinity War, one of the best superhero films of all time. So to recap, 2018, number 1 is Infinity War. Number 2 is Deadpool 2. Number 3 is Black Panther. Number 4 is A Quiet Place. Number 5 is Bad Times at the El Royale. Number 6 is Upgrade. Number 7 is Aquaman. Number 8 is Hotel Artemis. Number 9 is Hereditary. And number 10 is Overlord. And yeah, you definitely will notice there's an abundance of superhero movies in these last couple of years. But hey, it's not my fault. That's what was released. So, okay, we're going to start off 2019 with the number 10 title, which is Cold Pursuit. Starring Liam Neeson and Laura Dern. Directed by Hans Peter Mullen. Not your typical Liam Neeson action flick. This movie's got a lot of dark humor in it. Extremely entertaining movie. Number 9. Crawl. Directed by Alexandre Aja. And starring Kaya, I want to make sure I get it right this time, Kaya Scolario and Barry Pepper. A lot of fun. Very tense, but a lot of fun. Number 8. Knives Out. Written and directed by Rian Johnson. And one of the best casts from this year. Headlined by Daniel Craig, Jamie Lee Curtis, Michael Shannon, Toni Collette, and Don Johnson. Hilarious, excellent film. Great performances all around. Still have not figured out what Daniel Craig's accent is. Kind of reminds me of Foghorn Leghorn, but still haven't quite figured it out. Number 7. And I forgot it on the original video. Winner of Best Picture that year, Parasite. Directed by the wonderful, incredible Bong I can't talk again. Bong Joon-ho, who also directed Snowpiercer, one of my other favorite movies. Incredible movie. I cannot believe I forgot it on the original video for 2019. I apologize profusely for that. This is a great film. Number 6, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Written and directed by Quentin Tarantino and starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Margot Robbie, Margaret Qualley, and in his Academy Award-winning role for Best Supporting Actor, Brad Pitt. Tarantino, as always, knocks it out of the park. Great movie. The last 20 minutes of this movie is among some of the funniest but yet intense 20 minutes ever. It's just so good. Okay, we are at the top 5, I believe. Let me double check that. Yes, top 5. Number 5, 1917. Directed by Sam Mendes. And starring George McKay and Dean Charles Chapman. An incredible technical achievement, an incredible movie. I absolutely love this film. Number 4, Ready or Not. Directed by Radio Silence. That's the name of the team that I could not remember in the original video. So, Radio Silence. Starring Samara Weaving in a great performance, Adam Brody and Andy McDowell. This movie's I had a ball watching this movie. It is just so much fun. And again, Samara Weaving is absolutely incredible in this film. Top 3. Number 3, Dr. Sleep. Written and directed by Mike Flanagan. Adapted from the novel from Stephen King. And starring Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, Cliff Curtis, and Kylie Kieran, another child actor who knocks it out of the park. She is phenomenal in this film, as is Jacob Tremblay, who plays the kid from the baseball team. And anybody who's seen Dr. Sleep knows what I'm talking about when I say the baseball kid. That scene alone makes this movie unforgettable. I love this film. And I'm sorry to the lovers of The Shining. The Shining is a far superior film than this. I prefer this from an entertainment value. Number 2, John Wick 3, Parabellum. Starring Keanu Reeves, Ian McShane, Lance Reddick, Halle Berry, and the incredible Mark Dacascos, who plays the fanboy sushi chef assassin. Between him and the scene with Halle Berry and the dogs, I'll say it now. I said before I couldn't really rank these films. I love all 4 of them, and I do. I think this one is actually my favorite. Actually, I know this one's my favorite. But number 1, and again, deja vu all over again, Avengers Endgame. Again, starring everybody and their brother from the MCU. And again, written by Christopher Marcus and Stephen McFeely. And again, directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. The culmination of 10 years of world building. And this is an incredible movie. It's one of the best superhero films ever. And Robert Downey Jr. is incredible in this movie, as he was in all of the Marvel movies. The man was born to play Tony Stark. So to wrap up 2019, number 1 is Endgame. Number 2 is John Wick 3. Number 3 is Dr. Sleep. Number 4 is Ready or Not. Number 5 is 1917. Number 6 is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Number 7 is Parasite. Number 8 is Knives Out. Number 9 is Crawl. And number 10, Cold Pursuit, an extremely underrated Liam Neeson film. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed my picks. If you did, please, again, give me a thumbs up, a possible subscribe, but most importantly, leave those comments. And we will be doing a top 25 of the teens that will be coming out in the next couple of days. I've already compiled my list, and although I think this decade was quite weak compared to the earlier decades, there are still some damn good movies this year, or this decade, and coming up with only 25 was difficult. But until then, I hope everybody has a great night, and we'll see you on the next one.